I never actually wanted to go over this topic. You know why? Maybe these thumbnails will give you a good idea why. Yes, that is me. At a very young age, making Angry Birds videos on YouTube. When they first got released, they didn't really get much attention, but over the years, they sorta took off. My most viewed video of all time is this tragedy of a Bad Piggies rap song, if you can call it that. But the goal of these video essays is to normalize praise and positivity and change the perspective of media. And ultimately, when thinking of a topic for this month, I couldn't deny the truth. Angry Birds is a video game that genuinely changed my life in many great ways and made me the man that I am today. So, who's to say Angry Birds shouldn't get a video essay here? So, here we go. One last Angry Birds video.
I don't know, I couldn't think of the intro, so I thought of something that involves Angry Birds. Back to the video.
It's funny though, the build up to how I got into Angry Birds doesn't start in maybe the way that you think. I actually refused to play it at first. At the time, I was a stand for other mobile games like Pocket God. I also was secretly getting frustrated seeing my family stay glued to their phone playing the game. I had built up silent hate towards Angry Birds, but ultimately, I knew that I couldn't judge it unless I played. And I think the end result is pretty guessable. What made me get into the game anyway? Well, there's many reasons, really. The two reasons most people got into the game, including myself, was 1, it's an entertaining and challenging game that, 2, can be accessed through mobile phones, which are now a thing, instead of only playing games through an Xbox or PlayStation or something. Obviously, that's partly why I got into it. Who doesn't like playing fun games as a kid? And 2, who wouldn't be curious to see how far they can go in the game every second of the day now that you don't have to wait till you get home to play it? But, as I get older, there's many other reasons I found out while putting this video essay together that actually makes this game hold a special place in my heart. These reasons are actually quite huge, both personally and even helps me in the future when it comes to business. You'll see what I mean. I found out personally that it simply just continues to expand the love I have for diversity. I'm a sucker for diversity, and even as a kid, I found it interesting to work with different birds, different colors and different abilities. One bird is yellow that can go the speed of a bullet, one bird is black that can explode like a bomb, and my personal favorite one is the orange bird that can blow himself up and deflate like a balloon. Maybe there were some birds that I didn't quite like over the others, but I mean it was at least fun to try and figure out how I'm going to utilize them to the best of their ability. Even watching Angry Birds Toons, which if you don't know what that is, it's the game's own animated TV episodes in a sense, they were fun, just because you got to see the different personalities of each bird and pig. But the diversity of Angry Birds wasn't just in their characters. The variety of games you could play was all over the place. You could play the game through holidays like Halloween or Christmas. I've never seen the movie Rio, but you could play the game in the world of Rio. But I have seen Star Wars, and you could even play the game in the world of Star Wars. And yes, they could use lightsabers to destroy pigs and castles. And if you want to play it in space but don't like Star Wars for whatever reason, then you can even do that. If you're a fan of Mario Kart, Angry Birds had their own version of that. You can play the game in the world of Transformers. Angry Birds comes in all shapes and sizes, really. I learned to love that about the world at an early age, I suppose. But seeing that Angry Birds got to work on their company by releasing new games, new levels, characters, and many more, it made me want to get to work on some sort of business as well. Not that I like talking about it, but my brother and I decided to get to work on releasing our own version of the Angry Birds world with new episodes you'd see on YouTube. We'd give the birds and pigs a personality of our own doing. Have them go on adventures that come from our own mind. Make our own rap song no one else has ever made about the spin-off game Bad Piggies. It was all a huge success. From a personal growth perspective, because as cringe as it is, without it, I would not have gone this far in content creation. Angry Birds thinks big, like any successful company would. They knew one small mobile game was taking off, and took full advantage of the opportunity to grow it even more by releasing their own animated movie and hiring big name voice actors, by putting a giant red Angry Bird on the Seattle Space Needle to advertise their new Angry Birds space game, release plush toys and Halloween costumes. As a kid, all I can think is to do the same. Think big and create big. With all that I knew how to do, I feel I at least did well. In short, from a personal perspective, Angry Birds holds a special place in my heart, with all of the diversity, fun challenges, and the inspiration to get to work on my own entertainment. But I did mention earlier that it helps me think of ideas for the future. How so exactly? Well, for those that haven't seen my previous video essays, I'll mention every now and then that I'm an aspiring writer and art director, meaning in the long run, I'd love to be showing the world my own original animated characters and stories. I have a good idea of what characters I want to work with, but the ideas didn't just come to me without help. Angry Birds is a huge reason as to why I make many different characters with different colors. There's a purple character I thought of, a red character, yellow character, just like in Angry Birds. A character with a bit of an arrogant ego, a bubbly and joyful mindset, a quiet and reserved character, like in Angry Birds. I have future ideas that take place in many different settings and environments, just like Angry Birds. The truth is, a good majority of my video editing and creative skills wouldn't have come this far if it wasn't for Angry Birds. And forget the business side of things, my childhood and teenage years wouldn't be complete without the game. In school, I was always known to be the Angry Birds kid, and I take pride in that now. I didn't go to teenage hangouts after school, I didn't go home and watch sports, I didn't have Riz in class. No man, all I cared about in elementary and middle school was Angry Birds. I played the game in class, at home, I'd 3-star every level and do it a second and third time, find all the golden eggs, ask for more Angry Birds plushes for Christmas, dream that one day I go to the Angry Birds amusement park. It was my life. And you know, I think I owe the game an apology. Because years later, when I started to get involved in sports and college and all that, I almost forgot the game existed. When I think of my favorite video games, I almost always forget Angry Birds. But I know it's just because of the embarrassment of those freaking old videos. As I get older though, I understand it now. They're simply just videos of a kid that loves the game and wants to make his own big ideas with them. For anyone wanting to be an aspiring writer and director, let me ask you a question. Is that the main motivation to do what you do? How awesome would it be to see fans have fun with your creations and think big enough to share their own ideas with the world about your own creations? I'm sure it feels great for Rovio, and they deserve that. Thank you, Angry Birds and Rovio, for creating not just a memorable game for myself, but for billions across the world to remember, and for inspiring me to think of creative ideas of my own. And yes, I'll admit this, sometimes before bed, I play Angry Birds Reloaded and Angry Birds Friends. So it's confirmed, the game will never leave my heart.